If you didn't sign in, you can sign in on the way out. Getting settled in. Good morning. My name is Bill Brady. I'm Chief Planner at Westchester County. Welcome to the town of North Castle. I'd like to thank Adam Bradley, the planner here, for North Castle for having us. And Adam Kaufman. What did I say? I don't know what I said.
Different guy.
Sorry. Adam Kaufman. Sorry about that. I get Bill Bradley a lot, so. So just to let you know, again, this is a program developed by the Westchester County Department of Planning, and we've got Lucas Herbert who's going to speak to you today. It's also co-sponsored by the Westchester Municipal Planning Federation and also the APA, American Planning Association's New York Metro chapter are the co-sponsors. Important at the end, please make sure you get your certificate of completion. We'll hand those out at the end as we're leaving. So you hand those into your town, village, or city staff to track that you've attended this. That's important. You don't want to leave without that. I just want to let you know that there's a couple of other programs sponsored by the Planning Federation coming up, and just so you could also get more credits if you need more credits, or tell your fellow board members and town staff. On October 29th, we've got a planning board seminar, and the topic is Innovative Comprehensive Plans, and that's going to be on Monday, October 29th at 6 p.m. in White Plains at Pace University. So that's the 29th. And there's a zoning board seminar the next night on October 30th at 6 p.m. at Scarsdale Village Hall. Again, that's for zoning board members, or anybody can attend it, and that's case law update for zoning boards. So back-to-back nights on the 29th and the 30th. And just let us, myself, or this is Linda Whitehead, and Surette Dim is also in the room. They're on the board of directors for the Planning Federation. Let them know if you have any questions about the Planning Federation or any ideas for planning programs, any Planning Federation programs. That's where we kind of get our ideas. It's also from you, the memberships. All your municipalities are members of the Planning Federation. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lucas Herbert, who's worked hard on these presentations, and this is the final session. So it's been very worthwhile. We've had great attendance, and I'm going to turn it over to Lucas to kind of talk you through our process.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our presentation this morning about planning and zoning reviews at the county level. I'd just like to say a quick thank you to the Westchester Municipal Planning Federation for helping us coordinate this, and also for the town of North Castle for hosting us. And I'd also like to thank the APA New York Metro chapter for providing us CM credits. So if any of you have AICP credentials, please sign that form in the front of the room when you leave, so you can get CM credits for this course. So my name is Lucas Herbert, and I work for the County Planning Department. I've been working for the county for 17 years, and I do most of these county planning board planning and zoning reviews. So I'll tell you all about it, and let's just get started. But first, I was hoping we could just do some quick introductions. Like I said, I've been doing this for 17 years, and I've been dealing with people from the municipalities for a very long time. And I know a lot of you by email or from phone calls, but I may not have a face with the name. So I was just hoping we could just do a quick introduction before we get started, and then I'll get into the nitty-gritty of the topic. So I'm Lucas Herbert from the County Planning Department.
Larry Brotman, Pound Ridge Zoning Board.
Hi, I'm Michelle Rudolph. I'm from the Pound Ridge Planning Board.
Gail Jankis, Pound Ridge Planning Board.
Bill Monty, North Salem Planning Board.
Christopher McCarthy, North Council Planning Board.
Valerie DeSimone, Planning Board Secretary, North Council.
Alberta Rain, Water and Corn, consultant engineer for a number of towns and villages.
Art Pachek, Bedford Zoning Board.
Lisa Spano, Bedford Zoning Board.
John Carlo Bruno, Ferrandino and Associates.
Barbara Sherry, Town of Somers Planning Office.
Larissa Pena, Deputy City Clerk, Planning Office.
Elaine Fan, Bronxville Planning Board.
Pastor Bucali, Mount Pleasant Planning Board.
Carolyn Salcino, Town Mount Pleasant Planning and Zoning Secretary.
Surette Dim, Director of Planning, Town of Somers and Board of One. Linda Whitehead, attorney with McCullough, Goldberger and Stout,
Village of Larchmont Building Department.
And I'm Adam Kaufman, Town of North Castle.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming in. It turns out I actually do know a lot of you from correspondence over the years, so glad to finally meet you in person. Okay, so let's get into the topic. Why do counties review planning and zoning matters? Well, in New York State, every county plays a role with planning and zoning matters, and it's codified in the statute in New York State General Municipal Law. So the purpose that's stated in the law is to bring pertinent intercommunity and county-wide planning, zoning, site plan, and subdivision considerations to the attention of neighboring municipalities and agencies having jurisdiction. Counties also review planning and zoning matters to provide technical assistance with reviews. This isn't so much an issue here in Westchester, but in a lot of like more rural parts of the state, you may have towns or villages that don't have professional planning staff. And so the county provides the technical assistance with reviewing site plans or subdivisions and whatnot. The county planning review can include a number of issues, and this is all talked about in the general municipal law. Land use compatibility, traffic, facilities, community character, drainage, capital plans, shared services, and impacts beyond borders is actually a very key consideration that counties have to take into consideration when they do these reviews. A lot of times, impacts that go beyond municipal borders, people might think of traffic is probably one of the biggest ones that always comes up. But here in Westchester, actually, one of the major concerns that we have is stormwater and drainage and flooding, where development gets built in one town, but increasing impervious surfaces and whatnot can cause more water to flow into a stream and impact the town that's downstream. And that's actually something that we pay a lot of attention to here at the county. So county planning reviews in New York State, as I mentioned, are all set up under the statutory framework of Section 239 L, M, and N of the New York State General Municipal Law. And just a quick housekeeping note, I'm going to be throwing a lot of information at you, so most of you, I've noticed, have this. This has all the information on it, all the slides, so you don't have to furiously write down everything that I'm telling you. It's all right here. And if you take one of my cards, I can email you this presentation after after today, and you can always call me or email me with any questions after you see all this. So you don't have to worry about trying to keep up with writing notes.
And there's going to be video of it.
Yeah, and this is being video recorded, right? So you can definitely refer to these things after the fact. Okay, so Section 239 L, M, and N of New York State General Municipal Law provides a statutory framework statewide for county planning reviews. But different county laws and policies make for different procedures in each county. So while there's a uniform set of laws, depending on if you practice planning in other counties of the state, each county does things a little bit differently. Like some counties will have a county planning board. Some counties don't have a board. The department might do the reviews. Some counties, they might do some reviews in the department, some reviews in county planning board. Some have different referral methods or different actions that they might comment on or not comment on. So it really changes county to county. But for the beginning of this presentation, let's just focus on the similarities between the counties. And so let's take a look at the New York State General Municipal Law. This requires the referral of certain planning and zoning actions from cities, towns, and villages to a county planning agency or a regional planning council. So county planning agencies could either be county planning boards or county planning departments. Regional planning councils are a different thing. These can be authorized by county boards of legislatures or county boards of supervisors in cases where there are no county planning agencies. So if you're dealing with perhaps a more rural county that doesn't have a county planning department, the Board of Legislators or the Board of Supervisors can authorize a regional planning council, maybe between two different counties or within a county, to do this. But we won't really touch on this too much because in Westchester we have a Westchester County Planning Board, and in this part of the state, generally it's done at the county level with a county planning board or a county planning department. So the General Municipal Law states that there are certain planning and zoning actions that must be referred. So these actions include the adoption or amendment of a comprehensive plan, the adoption or amendment of a zoning ordinance or a local law, so this might mean like zoning text or zoning map amendments, the issuance of special permits, the approval of site plans, the granting of use or area variances, and certain subdivision plats, except these planning and zoning actions are referred only if they apply to real property within 500 feet of this list of things. So the list includes the boundary of any city, village, or town, the boundary of any existing or proposed county or state park or other recreation area, the right-of-way of any existing or proposed county or state parkway, thruway, expressway, road, or highway, the existing or proposed right-of-way of any stream or drainage channel owned by the county or for which the county has established channel lines, and I'll get to what that is later. That's a concept we have here in Westchester that I can explain. The existing or proposed boundary of any county or state-owned land on which a public building or institution is situated. In Westchester, this might be something like a county sewage treatment plant would fit this description, or other county or state-owned building. And the boundary of a farm operation located in an agricultural district as defined by Article 25AA of the Agriculture and Markets Law. This is, we actually do have some farm operations that fit this qualification. They're mostly in the northeastern part of the county. We have a map that shows where they are, so if you need that, just let me know. But it's mostly just in the northeastern towns like North Salem, Somers, I think Yorktown's got a few, that part of the county. Okay, so the general municipal law says that a full statement must be submitted when you make this referral. And this includes all materials that are required by and submitted to the referring body. So if the local planning board requires a certain form to be filled out or a certain plan to be submitted, that must also be submitted to the county planning agency. And this includes all seeker documentation. So lead agency notices, positive declarations, negative declarations, environmental impact statements, all of those must be also referred. The county planning agency has 30 days to respond after a full statement is received. So this 30-day clock actually starts once the county verifies that the information has been received. So we know of situations where this mostly happens in other places, but where an application it's not a full statement, so then the county would get back to the municipality and say, you didn't send us everything. Once everything is received, that's when the 30 days starts. So the county planning agency has 30 days to respond, and that response could be a recommendation for approval or modification or disapproval of the submitted application. Or the county planning agency could respond that the proposed action has no significant countywide or intercommunity impact, and in that case, the board may make no comments. Or the county planning agency could fail to take action. But in Westchester, that never happens. We always respond. So you won't have to worry about that. But in either case, either of these three cases, the referring body may take action once the 30 days expires. So whether there's no action or an action, it doesn't matter. After 30 days, the local board can take action. So the New York State General Municipal Law also requires an extraordinary vote. And now this may not apply in Westchester, and I will get to this later on in the presentation. But this applies to referral responses that recommend modification or disapproval of a particular action. So in those cases, the referring body shall not act contrary to such recommendation except by a vote of a majority plus one. So for a town board with 5 members, you would need a 4-to-1 vote to override the county planning board's recommendations. A planning board with 7 members would need a 5-to-2 vote to overturn the county planning board's recommendations. And then after that, a report of final action is required by the law. So within 30 days after the referring body takes the action, the referring body shall file a report with the county planning agency or regional planning council after the fact. So once again, that's everything that's the same. statewide. Now let's talk about how some of the counties have different laws and policies that might change how these referrals are done. So looking specifically at Westchester, the Westchester County Administrative Code is another set of laws that we have to look at. And these laws have a completely different set of items that need to be referred, and a different timeline, and it's very, very different. So let's take a quick look. Section 277.61 is entitled The Powers and Duties of County Planning Board in Relation to Villages, Cities, and Towns of the County. And the purpose of this law is to aid in maintaining a high level of effectiveness of municipal action, and to bring pertinent inter-community and county-wide considerations to the attention of such municipal agencies. And like I said, this requires notification of a completely different set of planning and zoning actions. So let's take a look. The County Administrative Code requires that the adoption of an amendment of a zoning ordinance be referred. So that's the same as the general municipal law. This is a zoning text amendment or a zoning map amendment. The issuance of special permits or use permits changing the use classification of a property. In this case, it means use variances, so special permits or use variances, and this is anywhere in a municipality, not within 500 feet of that list. The proposal decreasing the front yard setback or the minimum street frontage or average width of any property abutting a state highway, parkway, or thruway, or any county road or parkway or state or county park. So these are front yard, well, these are area variances, and they only apply to front yard setback, minimum street frontage, or average width, and so it's only on properties that are abutting these state or county roads or state or county parks. It's kind of a confusing rule. Also, subdivision plats need to be referred, but only when they involve a new street connecting directly into a state or county highway, parkway, thruway, or road, or if they involve a drainage line connecting directly into any channel lines established by the county under the County Stream Control Act. So these are county streams, which I will get to a little bit later. Also, the proposed adoption or amendment of an official map affecting streets connecting directly into any such highway, parkway, thruway, or road, or affecting drainage lines connecting directly into such channel lines. So this is a official map amendment when the official map is changed to add a new street or take away a street. These don't happen very often, but when they do, they should be referred. Okay, so the Westchester County Administrative Code doesn't require the referral of a complete statement, a full statement, a complete package of materials. Instead, the County Administrative Code only requires a notice of public hearing, and that must be submitted 10 days prior to the hearing. The County Planning Board may appear at any such hearing and be heard and file a memorandum of its position. And if the County Planning Board disapproves the proposal on which the hearing is held or recommends changes or modifications thereof, the municipal agency having jurisdiction shall not act contrary to such disapproval or recommendation except by the adoption of a resolution of such agency. This is a very wordy sentence, but what it basically means is if the County Planning Board were to recommend disapproval or recommend modifications, the local board simply just needs to adopt a resolution approving the project, and there's no supermajority vote required. So as you can see, we're dealing with two sets of laws. The New York State General Municipal Law, and this is a law that's been updated periodically over the years. And then you have the Westchester County Administrative Code, which has remained unchanged since it was adopted in 1961. So which set of laws do you use? Well, this question was asked, and in the 1980s, lower court decisions concluded that the provisions of both laws apply in Westchester, but when there's a conflict, the County Administrative Code takes precedence. So it kind of looks like this. So this is the best diagram we could come up with. So basically, you look at the County Administrative Code, but then where it overlaps with general municipal law, the County Administrative Code rules, but parts of the general municipal law that the County Administrative Code doesn't touch on, well, then that rules in those cases. So this creates a situation that is unique statewide, and it's only in Westchester. We have a very, very unique set of laws that tell you what needs to be referred and what doesn't, and it's Westchester is the only place that this occurs, so in this particular way. So if you practice planning statewide, unfortunately in Westchester, you're going to have to learn a very, very different set of rules just for Westchester. So taking a look at what gets referred, we've got the general municipal law on the left-hand side and the county administrative code on the right-hand side. And when you mash them together, this is what you get. So the adoption or amendment of a comprehensive plan is only in the general municipal law. So that must be referred under those rules. So so this would be a comprehensive plan amendment or the adoption of a comprehensive plan affecting property within 500 feet of that list. But as you know, most comprehensive plans are municipality-wide, you know, or they cover a very large land area within a municipality. So they almost always, but they always do affect property within 500 feet of something on that list. So you could pretty much be assured that any amendment to a comprehensive plan or a new comprehensive plan should be referred to the Westchester County Planning Board. Okay, the adoption or amendment of a zoning ordinance, that's from the County Administrative Code, so that would be anywhere in the municipality. The issuance of a special permit or use permit or use variance, so a special permit or use variance, that's from the County Administrative Code, so that's anywhere in the municipality. These front yard setback variances are the average width or minimum street frontage variances. That's from the County Administrative Code, so that only for properties that abut state or county roads or state or county parks. For the approval of site plans, we go back to the general municipal law, so this is the approval of site plans within 500 feet of that list that I gave you earlier. For subdivision plats, we go back to the County Administrative Code, so these are subdivisions that only involve a new street connecting into a state or a county road, or involve a drainage line connecting into a county stream. And then the adoption or amendment of an official map or map amendment, that's from the County Administrative Code as well. Okay, so now let's get on to these locational things I've been telling you about, that list of things that within 500 feet you would have to send it. The good news is you may be wondering, well, how can I tell if it's within 500 feet of a state road or a county road or a state or a county park? I don't know where these things are. The good news is that we have a map that shows you everything, and that's the map that's right up here in the front. And this is a map that if you want your own copy, just let me know and we'll mail you a copy. It's also on our website, so you can download it and look at it anytime you want. So I'll just go through the map real quickly with you, and you can take a look at it later. The red lines are state roads. The blue lines are county roads. The brown triangles are county sewage treatment plants, so those would be those facilities. If something was in 500 feet of a county facility, that would be one of them. Also, the gray shaded area is also a government, state or county government facility, so that would also, anything within 500 feet of that would be referable. Now, the county channel lines are these blue dashed lines. So these county channel lines were established by the county back in more like agricultural days, like, you know, a long time ago when there were a lot of farms here in Westchester. And these county channel lines live on as something that is regulated by the County Department of Public Works and Transportation. So development that occurs within, I believe, 100 feet of these lines needs a county stream control permit. But anything within 500 feet of these lines, or a subdivision that has a drainage line connecting into one of these lines, would need to be referred to the County Planning Board. These county channel lines are not everywhere, so you'd really have to consult the map to know where a county channel line is. Here in North Castle, here in Armonk, there is actually 2 county channel lines that are right nearby. The Wampus Brook and Byram River are both county channel lines. Other parts of the county, like in the northern part of the county, it's really just Shrub Oak Brook in Yorktown is a county channel line. Portions of the Sawmill River are county channel, but not all of the Sawmill River is. So you'd have to look at the map to know which segment is a county channel line. Troublesome Brook, Sprain Brook in Yonkers are county channel lines. The Mamaroneck River, but only in the town and village of Mamaroneck, is a county channel line. So that map will tell you where they Also, another thing to call to your attention is that there are some roads that you might think are state roads, but they're actually not. These are roads that might have a sign on them that looks like a state road, like Route 1 in Rye is a good example. Route 1 in Rye is Route 1, right? It's a state road. Actually, it's not a state road. It's a city, it's under city jurisdiction. And also I think Columbus Avenue in Mount Vernon is Route 22, but that's under city jurisdiction. So this will help you identify those. And then for county roads, Westchester is unique statewide in the sense that Westchester County doesn't have, like if you drive in other parts of the state, the county roads are always marked with a blue sign that has the number of the county road. Westchester doesn't have that, so you may not even realize you're on a county road when you're driving, but you might be. There's no way to really tell. The only way you could have tell is back when we were doing our Chester the Trout, I don't know if any of you remember this, but we had a stormwater quality program, and Chester the Trout was the mascot for that program. And so county roads would have a sign that Chester the Trout that said, make Westchester's water H2OK. So that was always a sign that you were on a county road. You would see the Chester the Trout sign, you would know. But those signs aren't up in every place anymore. So you would really only know if it was a county road by looking at this map. So all the blue lines are county roads, but over the last several decades, the county has been divesting itself of these roads and giving the roads back to the municipalities. So those roads are no longer county roads, but they're treated as county roads for the sake of referrals to the county planning board. So when these roads were transferred to the municipalities, it said right in the intermunicipal agreement that the roads will be treated as county roads, as if they were county roads, for the purpose of referring planning and zoning actions to the county planning board, even though these roads are not county roads. So those roads are noted with dashed blue lines on the map. So the idea with those particular roads is that you would have to almost like pretend that they were a county road in the sense that you would have to refer to the county planning board, but the county planning board wouldn't issue comments with respect to the road because the road is not really a county road anymore. So you wouldn't need to get a curb cut permit, for example, from the County Department of Public Works and Transportation for a development on a former county road because it's no longer a county road. Okay, let's take a look at the other provisions. The general municipal law requires that 30-day notification, the extraordinary vote, and the report of final action. The county administrative code requires a 10-day notice of hearing and no supermajority vote. So when you mash them together, you only have to submit a notice of public hearing 10 days prior to the hearing for most actions, except for site plans and comprehensive plans. In those cases, the New York State General Municipal Law rules, and you need to have a 30-day full application submittal. When it comes to extraordinary vote, as we said, the county planning board, the local board can just adopt a resolution if they disagree with the county planning board's recommendations, and that's fine. There's no supermajority vote required unless the local code reflects the general municipal law. And this has happened in some cases. For those folks here from Pound Ridge, your town code has this. If the county planning board were to issue a disapproval for a project in Pound Ridge, the town code says it reflects the GML, so an additional vote would also be required. This happened also in Yonkers with the Ridge Hill Village Mall back in the mid-2000s. The county planning board issued said, don't build this mall. And everyone's like, okay, well, we'll just, the city council will just vote on it anyway, and it's no problem. But then somebody dug through the city code and found that there was this requirement that they needed an extra vote to override the county planning board's negative recommendation, and then they had to get a fifth vote. They have a seven-member city council. They had to get 5 votes. That actually was in the papers and stuff. It was the first time the county planning board referral was like big news in the papers. Okay, so then moving on, the report of final action, the county administrative code is silent on this. The general municipal law requires that within 30 days, the referring body file a report of the final action with the county planning board. This is something in Westchester that we haven't really been doing. Some municipalities do this. They send us the final action, and we love receiving it. It helps us know what's been approved and what hasn't, and we'll put it in our file. We'd actually like to do this more if it's possible. We haven't traditionally gone after local governments about this, but if your municipality is willing to do this, we would actually very much appreciate getting the report of final action from you. And I'll explain why later. We actually have something on our website that lets people know about all the projects that are being considered countywide, and this would help us with that. And I'll get to it later. You'll see it at the end. Okay, so now that you know what to refer and how long of a notice you need to give, let's move on to the types of county planning board responses you may receive from the county planning board. Okay, so prior to 1990, the county planning board authorized the commissioner of planning to determine that a referred action presented no county planning concerns, and therefore to classify the referred action as a matter for local determination. So in these cases, the staff for the county planning board, so it's usually me and a couple other staff members who work for the department, we prepare a response letter to be reviewed by the commissioner, and then it gets sent back to the municipal board. And this letter may or may not include advisory comments and recommendations. So this is the majority of the county planning board responses that you can expect to receive at your municipality. They're just letters that have advisory comments. They're written by staff, approved by the commissioner, and they're sent out. The county planning board reviews these once a month at their meetings. All these letters get put into a report that summarizes each of the letters, and the county planning board reviews that at their meeting, and then they approve it. Or occasionally they may ask for modifications to certain letters, and in those cases we send a follow-up letter. But 9 times out of 10 they just approve the package of the summaries, and we just move on. Another type of response you might receive is this one. In January 2004, the County Planning Board acted to allow certain actions to be referred with a simple notification that can be emailed or faxed. Back then we had a fax machine. Now we actually try to discourage people from faxing them. If you can email it, it's far better. Our fax machine is now it's integrated into a copier, and we can receive faxes, but they just tend to they get mixed up more easily in somebody's copy job, or they may sit there for a while. So if you can email it, that's the best way to do it. And these are for development applications involving less than 5,000 square feet of new or renovated floor area and less than 10,000 square feet of total site disturbance. And these are matters that are automatically considered as matters for local determination. And all you have to do is notify us that it's occurring. So examples of these are only for site plans, special permits, use and area variances. And to give you an example, this might be like a renewal of a special permit where no construction is occurring. Sometimes we get special permits for suppose a convenience store operates until 8 o'clock at night, but they want to operate until midnight, and the local government requires a special permit for that, but they're not changing anything in their store, or maybe they're just changing a few things around. That would fit this. That would also fit this. So the reason they did this was just because we were getting lots and lots and lots of paper. It was expensive for the municipalities to mail these things to us. It was expensive for us to mail letters back. This just really streamlines a lot of these actions. So the county planning board and the staff are just focusing on more substantial projects. And lastly, the third type of county planning board response you might get is when the county planning board reviews the planning and zoning action itself. Okay, so and this would happen at a monthly meeting that the county planning board has. So the county planning board meets the first Tuesday of every month, and they usually have 1 or 2 of these referrals that they'd like to review during that meeting. So these are for referrals that involve broad issues with potential policy concerns. In these cases, the staff prepares a presentation to the county planning board, and a lot of times the staff will give the board suggested comments, but the board could change those comments or make up their own comments. And these are typically for like larger projects. So like a type 1 action under seeker that might become the subject of an environmental impact statement. So usually if it's an EIS, we'll do it this way. Major changes to comprehensive plans or new comprehensive plans, significant changes in zoning, significant changes in density or the types of uses that are on a particular site. Something that might have a significant relationship to the county planning board's policies like Westchester 2025 and patterns. Or if it has a significant impact to a county facility or service, like if there's a particular, like something that's very, very close to a county sewage treatment plant or something that might have, or the county airport, or something that might impact like county services like bus services in a major way, that would be presented to the county planning board. In those cases, the board would review it, and then we would try to get a response back to the municipality right after the board meeting. So looking at these three types of responses, what's the right timeline to get the referred action to county staff in order to have the review take place? So earlier I told you about the different timelines from each set of laws. So the general municipal law requires a 30-day review period with a full statement. The county administrative code just requires a notice of public hearing 10 days prior to the hearing. So when you mash them together, you get like a confusing mix of timelines. So for a comprehensive plan, you need 30 days full application. Zoning ordinance, zoning amendments, special permits, use variances, front yard setbacks, minimum street frontage setbacks, variances, I mean, those require 10-day notice. For approval of site plans, you're back to 30 days with a full application. For subdivisions and official map amendments, it's 10 days, just notice of public hearing. However, the types of responses that the county planning board would like to give back to the municipalities, each takes a different length of time. So for those email forms that you can just send in, those can be turned around in a day, 2 days, 3 days at the maximum. So, you know, those are really quick. The matters that are determined by the commissioner to have no significant concerns, but where staff prepare comments that are advisory, the turnaround is usually about a week, 2 weeks at the most for those. And then the matters that have to be presented to the full county planning board, that can take as much as a month, because if you refer it one day after the planning board just had their meeting, it's another 30 days until they have their meeting, since it's just the first Tuesday of the month. So that is more impacted by the timing of those meetings, and it can take much longer. So looking at the types of responses on a table here with the referral timeline, some work and some don't. So for the automatic local determination email forms, either the 10-day notification or the 30-day full application are fine. That works in either case. But when we start getting into letters that are generated by the staff, suddenly that 10-day notification with just the public hearing notice may not be sufficient from a timeline perspective. So we really, really request, even though the law says just all you need is a notice of public hearing and that's it, we actually really would like it if you could send us something as soon as you can. 30 days is preferable with the full application. If it's like a zoning amendment, for example, and you just send us a notice of public hearing and that's all we get, we will issue back a letter that says we didn't receive the changes that you want to implement and we can't review it. That's what the letter would say. So if you can send the full application and you can send it in 30 days, that's ideal, even though you're not technically required to do that, except for site plans, which you are required to do that. For matters requiring presentation to the board, a 10-day notification with just a public hearing notice is not sufficient. So please, if you can, send that 30 days ahead of time with the full application, and we can usually work that into the county planning board's meeting schedule. Just a quick notes on some other administrative guidelines. So these referrals should come from the municipalities. They should not really come from the applicants. Occasionally we do get applicants who send us the referral because they're afraid that the local board may forget or may not do it right. So they send us these things. And we do create a file on it when they get sent, but the referrals really should be coming from the municipalities. And the county planning board does not solicit these referrals. So if one of us on the county planning staff reads something in the paper about a project proposal, we're not going to come after the municipality to refer it to us. It's up to the municipality to do that. In some cases, like particularly for smaller villages, sometimes they do have the applicant make the referral just because the applicant's consultant there might be a big stack of plans or whatever, and it's easier for the applicant just to send them to us, and that's fine, but the municipality should still send us something so that we get something from the municipality, even if it's just the referral form, which I'm going to show you at the end. You could just fill that out and say the applicant will be sending the rest of the materials, and that's fine. We still treat it as coming from the municipality, even though the bulk of the material might be coming from the applicant. Okay, so meetings, oftentimes we get requests for meetings. Meetings to discuss applications can be set up on request, either by the municipality or the applicant. Sometimes we do get asked, usually it's by the applicants, but they'll say, oh, we'd like to meet with county planning staff just to tell you about this project that we're working on, and that's fine. But it's important to keep in mind that when these meetings happen, anything you give to us at the meeting goes in the file and it becomes public information. So a FOIL request could happen, and what you give us, that's in the file, and that's what's viewable. If a applicant asks for a meeting, we notify the municipality that this is happening, and the municipality can also attend. The county planning board may invite applicants and municipalities to present applications that are under review. This doesn't happen a lot, but occasionally the county planning board may do this if sometimes an applicant might reach out, but also the county planning board could invite them. And like I said, the applicants could reach out to present the applications to the county planning board. That does happen sometimes. It's up to the board to decide if that will occur. If an applicant does come in and make this request, the local board is notified, and they may also appear at the meeting as well. Just a few quick notes about seeker. The Westchester County Planning Board is usually an interested agency when it comes to seeker. Other county departments may be listed as involved or interested agencies depending on the particular action. So for example, something that's on a county road, not a former county road, but a current county road, the County Department of Public Works and Transportation is an involved agency because they have to issue a permit for construction along the road. So generalized comments from the County Department of Public Works and Transportation, the County Department of Environmental Facilities, and the County Department of Parks, Recreation, and Conservation are usually coordinated through this County Planning Board response letter. So even though Public Works or Environmental Facilities might be interested or involved agencies, usually for those three county departments, their comments are coordinated through the County Planning Board's response letter because the commissioners of those three departments sit on the County Planning Board as ex officio members. So it's easy for them to make their comments through the County Planning Board. Some county departments, like the Department of Health, their commissioners are not on the County Planning Board. They would respond directly back to the municipality. Interestingly, the County Board of Legislators should also be an involved agency in certain circumstances. And we bring this to your attention because oftentimes the Board of Legislators is left off the list of involved agencies for certain things, and it's very, very important that they be listed. And these are a couple examples of where this would be the case, is when county funding is sought for affordable housing. This is probably the #1 type of referral that needs to have them listed as an involved agency. Sewer district extensions, this is mostly an issue with the Peekskill Sewer District. Although there are other sewer districts where this may occur, but a sewer district extension must have the Board of Legislators as an involved agency. And most recently, we found out that the expansion of cemeteries involves the County Board of Legislators. There was like a 2-acre expansion of a cemetery in Bedford that was referred recently, and nobody knew this, but the Board of Legislators had to be an involved agency under seeker. They had to hold hearings. It was actually a very, very involved process. So if you ever deal with a cemetery that needs to be expanded, please list the County Board of Legislators as a involved agency. So for seeker, notifications should be sent with each phase of seeker review. So with lead agency, positive or negative declarations, scoping, environmental impact statements, findings. Please send each one of those notifications to us. Particularly the findings. A lot of municipalities may forget the findings. We actually do want to see those, and we do put them in our files. The County Planning Board will respond to each phase. So lead agency will send you back a letter declaring no objection to the lead agency. For scoping and environmental impact statements, we always provide comments on each of those phases. And then for the report of final action, like I mentioned before, we would really like to see this. The general municipal law requires it. The county administrative code is silent on it. But the reason we'd like to know is because we are developing well, actually, we do have a website right now, but we're actually improving this. So what you see here is our website right now, and each of these, there's an interactive map on the website, and each of these triangles represents a county planning board referral. A referral that's over 30 dwelling units in size or over 15,000 square feet of commercial area. And these, it's by year. So this is for this particular map that you see here is for all of 2016. So anything that was referred between, or actually anything that's still current. It could have been referred in a previous year, but it hasn't been, as far as we know, it hasn't been approved. And that's why we would like to know if things are approved. Or maybe they're approved, but maybe they're not under construction yet. And that's what this map is. We actually have been doing this actually for NIMTIC, the New York Metropolitan Transportation Council. They need this information to do their traffic forecasting for 20 or 30 years from now. So we have to give them this development information to help them with their modeling. And so they gave us this information back to put on our website. But we're actually going to improve this. Our IT department right now is working on a new interactive map that will have all the referrals on the map, in addition to all of the zoning districts countywide. And we're also trying to look and see if we can make that map show all of those jurisdictional triggers. So all of the things that, if it has to be within 500 feet of something in order to refer it, we're going to have that on this map. So hopefully you'll be able to have like a buffer around like a state road, for example, and you can find out from this map whether or not the site that you're concerned with falls within 500 feet of a state road or a county road, or everything that's on that map, including drainage channels, could be on this interactive map. And believe it or not, people look at this map from all over the country. It was surprising to me. We thought, oh, well, we'll put this map up and no one will look at it. It turns out we get phone calls about this all the time. People look at this. There could be developers or development companies that are in other parts of the country, and they are very interested in knowing what types of development is occurring here in Westchester, because they may want to try to apply for some type of development here, and they want to see what's going on. And interestingly, those reports that we generate for the County Planning Board that have summaries of all the comment letters that we've done for an entire month, that report also goes on our website. Right after each County Planning Board meeting, we put it on the website, and that has a surprisingly hungry readership. If we don't put that report up, I actually get phone calls. Where is the report? And people from all over the country read this thing. A lot of them might be construction companies where they're looking to get information out to different contractors or construction companies, like to help them bid on projects, to know where the work is. Again, developers read through it because they're curious as to what projects are going on. A lot of the law firms locally read it. I've gotten to know a lot of people who work for some of our local land use law firms. So they call me up if it's not there. So people do read it. So now that I've confused you with all of this conflicting information, how do you do this? How do you do these county planning board referrals? Well, the good news is that we have it all listed here on our website. Our website is a really good resource. All the information is there. Unfortunately, we have a very long URL, so you'll have to type in this long thing. But when you get to the website, there's actually a lot of good information about how to do this. And we have these cheat sheets that are actually very useful in determining what you need to refer. So we have these two tables. One is table 1 and one is table 2. Unfortunately, they're kind of small on the handouts, but if you go to our website, it's very clear where they are. And if you can't find them, let me know and I'll email you a link. But this basically just tells you that the table 1 is actions that require the referral of complete applications. And please, if you can get these to us within 30 days, that would be really helpful. So this is, comprehensive plans, zoning ordinances, subdivision plats, and it says subdivision plats, but only where a new street or drainage line will connect into something. Site plans, but only where it is within 500 feet of these actions. So this is a really clear table that tells you what, as clear as we can make it, that tells you what you need to submit. The second table is those actions that you can just do that email form for. So this is that form. You just fill it out really quick. It takes about 2 minutes. You email it to us, and then we email you back a response, within a day or two. This is a separate set of actions. You'll notice I circled this one thing in red. This is just an exception where if a particular action has been given a positive declaration, please do not use that notification form. We actually do want a full application submitted to us. This is very rare. I mean, these are projects that are less than 5,000 square feet, so hardly ever do these two projects that small receive a positive declaration, but if they do, please send us the full application. Okay, and then lastly, the last 2 pages of your packet have these forms. And these are the forms you can use when you send in the referrals. If you can use these forms, that's the best because it's very clear on the form what you're sending us. The forms also have that same cheat sheet information kind of on the form. So, just by looking at the form, you can know what needs to be submitted and in what timeline. So if you fill out these forms, the one on the left is when you submit a full application. That's a good cover sheet for whatever you submit to us. The one that's on the right here is our notification form. This is what you just fill out real quick. You email to us, and then we email you back a response. So whatever's below this, you just fill out what's above this line, and then we just fill out what's below the line, and we send it back to you. And that's it. So if you have any questions, please ask me. I'm right here. Or otherwise, you can take one of my cards and you can call me or email me anytime with questions. But like I said, the website is a resource that's available to you, and I'm also a resource that's available to you all the time. I've been doing this for 17 years, and I'll be working at the county for a long time to come. So I will always be there to answer your questions. So do you have any questions? Oh, yes.
Will we ever be able to email the full referral to you?
Yes. Okay. That's a good question. Yes, you may. You can definitely email them to us. The only issue is that even though these are electronic referrals, these are still paper files. So I have to create a paper file on whatever you send. So the rule of thumb is if I can print it out on one of the county's machines, we're good. If I can't print it out, I'll just get back to you and say, I can't print this out. You'll have to send it. So usually usually that's only an issue with like site plans where I can't get them formatted. We can either print things out 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 17. So if I can't print it on an 11 by 17, I'll just get back to you and say, I can't print this out. Can you send it to us? But usually in situations like that, I can print out everything else in the application, like the cover sheet, so you would just have to send us the plan. So I would get back to you on that. But yes, you can certainly try to refer it by email, and that's fine. Sure.
On the cemetery expansion,
Oh.
that you mentioned, many cemeteries own large, plot of land,
Mhm.
and they expand their burial site, but still within the same cemetery site.
Right.
Is that considered an expansion?
My understanding is that I don't think that because we've had those where like facilities within a cemetery and we never had to send it to the Board of Legislators. So I don't think so, but you know what? It's always best just to call me and I'll find out. We have a seeker expert who sits two desks down from me, and she deals with the Board of Legislators, so she would tell me. And I could just walk to her desk and ask her and find out for you. Any other questions? Well, you can still ask me later. You just feel free to give me a call anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.